is there a way to reset that financial set point? We said, let's just help you rewire your brain to a new financial setting. Over 6 months, we increased sales more than the previous 6 months by $100 million. An entrepreneur, just like many of you that are listening right now. Failed English, failed math, left high school, grade 11, didn't feel like I was smart enough, good enough, worthy enough to succeed until I got a mentor. And somebody asked me, what do I want to achieve in my life? And I said, well, I'd like to get a job that pays more than $1.65 an hour. I'd like to move out of my parents' home, and I'd love to buy my own car. And this guy said, this is great, but what do you really want to achieve? And so he gave me some documents to look at and asked me, what age do I want to retire? How much money do I want to have? Where do I want to travel? Who do I want to help? What kind of a difference do I want to make in the world? And I wrote out a whole bunch of stuff on these documents that he gave me. And this was 43 years ago. And then he asked me one question, and the question changed my life. He said, are you interested in achieving all of these things? Or, young man, are you committed to achieving them? And when I asked him, what's the difference? He said, well, if you're interested, you'll do what's convenient and easy. And you'll come up with stories and reasons and excuses why you can't. But when you are committed, you will upgrade your identity, and you'll upgrade your beliefs and your habits and your knowledge and your skills, and you'll do whatever it takes to achieve those goals. So I said he was committed, that I was committed. And then he became my mentor. And then I've built a couple companies, 1 to 4.5 billion a year in sales, written New York Times best-selling books. Been in 15 movies right now, traveled all over the world sharing and caring and having great life experiences, and now sharing what I can with as many people as I can. So,
in this very moment, all you have is all you need. So, what would you like to do? What do you believe you've been destined to do? Sometimes you have to fall back into the dark room and focus on you. So, you have a date with destiny. You have unfinished business. It's time for you to go back to the drawing board with a new perspective in life. Because if you can see it, you can have it. You must work out X amount of time of which you must forgive, you must involve, you must become, you must retain, you must grow, you must live, you must involve, you must go to the next level, you must live in this type of house, you must drive this type of car. Perspective is what changes the game. Stop complaining about the divorce, stop complaining about no job loss. Are you going to complain on the face of conflict, or are you going to see the opportunity?
So the main 3 topics we talk about here is how to make money, how to invest money. So let's talk about the making money side. What do you think holds most people back from making money?
great. So I'm going to give you 2 different answers. So I'm going to give you the inner game stuff, the stuff that's happening in people's heads, but I'm going to give you the practical behavioral stuff that people make an error in. So number 1, there's only 4 things that hold people back from making money. Before we even go there, the question is there more than enough money in the world? And I think you know, there's more than enough money. There's trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars and wealth. So the question then becomes, do you understand what money is? And money, number 1, is a means of exchange. So tribes exchanged, seashells, livestock, eggs, fish, meat, berries. We use it as a means of exchange. So part 1 is understanding what is money, nothing more than a means of exchange. There's only 4 things that hold people back. Either they have a fear of going after what they want. They have a self-image that prevents them from going after what they want. They have limiting beliefs that hold them back from going after they want, or they lack the knowledge and skill of what to do, which causes self-doubt and uncertainty and fear, which means they won't take action. Part 1. Part 2, most people have no idea what their highest income producing activities are. And if most people looked at their calendar and they said, okay, in any 50-hour week, how many hours did you spend, let's say, earning money, making money? Now, if you have a job, your boss has taken the risk, or your owner of a company has taken the risk. They pay you an hourly fee to trade your knowledge, skill, whatever the case is. But if you're an entrepreneur and you don't know what your highest income producing activity is per hour, then you are changing or exchanging your time for everything that seems to be worth the same amount per hour. So first, you need to know what is your highest income producing activity. Second, you need to know what is the highest impact producing activities that get you to the point of being able to exchange your time, knowledge, skill, program, product, or service for money. Most people have no idea of A, how to get rid of the 4 internal obstacles, and then they don't understand what time is worth and how to get themselves to the point where they are making a lot of money for time.
In other words, there were behaviors and thoughts you've had in the past that were needed to produce the result you're currently having, but you need to stop what's no longer needed, right? So ask yourself that question: what do I need to drop that's no longer needed? Is it the behavior? Is it a person? One of those things you've probably carrying with you from the past, but that thought, that behavior, that person is no longer needed for you to go to the next level of your identity, the next level of yourself. Do not let other people's control your emotion, because in life no one is you, and that is your power. You can control 2 things: your work ethic and your altitude about anything.
Obvious question that we all want to know: what are the 4 internal obstacles?
Well, the 4 internal obstacles is self-image, right? So we will never outperform our hidden self-image. So we have a self-image on, well, I'm worth X in the marketplace based on my knowledge, my skill, or lack thereof, based on how old I am, young or old, based on my education, based on my experience, I should earn X amount. And the question is, where did you get that belief? Right? A belief will drive your perspective of what you see, but a belief will also drive your behavior. But a belief also sets up what you expect. So here's my question. Was anybody that's listening or watching, anybody that's ever walked on Earth, 107 billion humans have walked on Earth, was any one human ever born with a single belief? 0. What about fear? Fear of failing, fear of being embarrassed, fear of being ashamed, fear of being ridiculed, fear of being judged, fear of disappointing yourself or somebody else, fear of being ridiculed, fear of being abandoned, fear of being unloved. So fear holds people back. What if I try my best and I fail and you see me? And then you go, you failed, like somebody may have done to you at school. So fear holds us back because fear deactivates the motivational circuit in the brain. So we have self-image. We will never outperform what we believe we are worth. We have fear that holds us back because we're in a protective mode most of the time, avoidance of pain, discomfort, whether it's real or imagined. And then we have limiting beliefs. But we weren't born with any of these things. So we have a limiting belief of, I can only earn X amount because my husband, my wife, my education, we have these constructs. And by the way, all of these are nothing more, from a neuroscience perspective, than neural patterns in the brain that have been reinforced. And the great news is we can deactivate limiting beliefs and replace them with empowering beliefs deliberately. We can learn how to manage this thing called fear, because it's just an emotion that is triggering neurochemicals into your bloodstream that causes behavior, whether you take action or don't. And then self-image is nothing more than a reinforced image of yourself in your own mind. And if you have been traumatized, if you have failed, if you have been embarrassed or ashamed when you've tried your best and didn't achieve what you wanted to, then you move into a protective mechanism so you don't have to experience this emotion, okay, of being embarrassed, ashamed, ridiculed, judged, or disappointed. So we move away from what we don't want. And then the 4th one is you lack the knowledge or the skill of actually how to do it. And when we lack the knowledge and skill of, well, what should I do? When should I do it? How should I do it? How do I mitigate my risk? Then guess what our brain does? Well, since you don't know, I'm going to activate the doubt circuit. In the doubt circuit, I'm in a protective mode because I don't want to be embarrassed, ashamed, ridiculed, or judged, or rejected or fail, because I don't like that feeling. So we move away from these feelings that we haven't learned how to manage and then control, so they control us. And it's like dawned on me, oh my God, is there a way to reset that financial set point? And I was developing the new reality before it existed in my mind, in my heart, in my being. And here's why. Because practice makes permanent patterns in the brain. Whenever we're, let's say, using an affirmation or visualization or a mindfulness technique or any one of the methodologies, we're using a part of the brain called the hippocampus and the amygdala, the emotional response part of the brain. So the hippocampus is short-term memory. Read it once, say it once, do it once, 3 times, 5 times. It's like, okay, great, you're doing once or 5 times or 10 times. But there comes a point that as soon as you start to do spaced repetition, whether you visualize or meditate or mindfulness or mental contrasting, any of the techniques, there comes a point where it moves from one part of the brain called the hippocampus into the part of the brain called the cerebellum. Now the cerebellum starts to create habits, and habits in the brain are what? Automatic. So all of a sudden you can sing the song, you can read the script, you can recite, the thing that you affirm, let's say, is a new belief. You didn't believe it before, but now it's part of your subconscious conditioning. Now you start to believe it, and now you start to behave in ways with what you believe. That's the consistency that the brain has to create. So when the outside world of results does not match your internal map of reality, your beliefs, your self-image, your identity, your self-worth, your self-esteem, it auto-corrects. And that's why people do better, then they sabotage, or they don't do as well, and they're used to a higher level of performance to go, holy shit, I better get my ass in gear. And then they reach that baseline. So whenever you want to get to that next level, practice the next level in advance for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, so that when you get there, your brain doesn't automatically kick you out by procrastination and self-sabotage. It's the exact same reason why 98% of people who go on a diet lose weight, gain it back, and then some. That's called the yo-yo syndrome.
One of the best lessons you can learn in life is to master how to remain calm. Build something that you will be proud of. Because if you can't control your emotions, you can't control your money. Everything you're going through in life is preparing you for what you ask for. You can control 2 things out of all of those things that you're going through: your work ethic and also your attitude. One of the best lessons you can learn in life also is master how to remain calm. Find 3 hobbies: one to make you money, one to keep you in shape, and one to keep you creatively. Invest in yourself. It pays out the best interest. In order to succeed, you must first believe you can. You get paid for your value, not for your time. If you want to be the best, you have to work more than the rest. Because in order to succeed, you must also again first believe in yourself.
Why should someone hire a mentor?
I've invested over $1 million of cash, money, over 40 years on coaches, mentors, programs, books, whatever, over $1 million. And the question is why should I do that? Well, think of shortcuts. Think of shortcuts. If somebody can share with you a path that is faster, easier, and smarter to get you from where you are to where you want to be, why go through the heavy lifting, learning, pain, discomfort of doing that? So a mentor, a mastermind that expands your thinking, shows you the way, prevents you from doing certain things because they've seen the pattern over and over and over again. It's a way to be smarter. It's a way to save yourself money, time, headache, confusion, overwhelm. For me, it's I still have coaches and mentors. I still have them. I still pay for them. And the reason is because I am limited even with my knowledge and how the brain works. And so they're able to show me perspective that I may not have. And if somebody, I don't think you should hire somebody as a coach or mentor that hasn't done or isn't doing what you want to already achieve.
Right.
So don't hire somebody who's successful 35 years ago because times have changed. So if you want to hire a mentor, make sure that they're relevant now. First, they've got to tell me, what's your vision? What do you want to achieve? But then the question is, are you interested or are you committed to achieving that? And achieving goals is very, very different than setting goals. Setting goals, everybody can do. Achieving goals requires a process and following a process. Jim Rohn said, he says, in summer, you have to be thinking winter. In winter, you have to be thinking summer.
Sure.
Right? But as an entrepreneur, you have to be thinking about, whether it's the market, the financing, the economy, what's going on in the world as it might affect you. So you're always have got a bit of a focus on the future, while you're focusing on the implementation day to day, week by week, month by month. We're all energy, we're all entangled, we're all connected, and if we truly believe that there's an abundance, then there's more than enough for all of us. And people live in one of four planes of reality. There's scarcity, there's not enough. There's security, there's just enough. There's success, there's more than enough, but there's significance, there's more than enough for all of us all the time. And so I choose to live, and I know you do as well, from a place of abundance that there's more than enough. And if you believe in the law of attraction, then whatever you put out there must return back. I think that everybody should have something, something that they feel is makes them feel good and has an impact outside of the return just for them.
Everything you're going through is preparing you for what you ask God for. You can control two things: your work ethic, your attitude about anything. No one else is in charge of your power. One of the best lessons you can learn in life is to master how to remain calm. Find three hobbies: one to make you money, one to keep you in shape, and one to keep you creatively. One of the best things you can learn in life is how to invest in yourself.